Hadouken!
What's good, people? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, please do subscribe down below, smash the like, hit the bell, those things help out a lot. YouTube does notify people when we upload, so just make sure you hit that bell. Anyway guys, today we got a dope episode for you because it's all about 3 reasons why your leaves are probably turning yellow and you just don't know it yet. Now, yellowing leaves can be caused by just about anything that's a little bit out of whack. So in today's episode, I'm going to break down the 3 common nutrient deficiencies that cause yellowing leaves in my experience. And it's usually one of these 3 things, so if you're able to dial it in, I'm always happy to help. Now, we've been on the channel for a few years now, and I can't tell you how many times people will ask, my leaves are turning yellow, Matt, what's wrong, what do I do? And usually I'll stop and take a deep breath, because I know I'm gonna have to put my detective hat on. Yellowing leaves can be caused by just about anything that's a little out of whack in a grow room. I'm talking low light, overwatering, nutrient deficiencies, nitrogen toxicities, nutrient toxicities, root diseases, viruses, or it can just be a symptom of the plant's natural aging process. I mean, who knows? But when it comes down to nutrient deficiencies, I can usually narrow it down to one of 3 things: magnesium, nitrogen, or iron. Now, my first question is usually, where do the yellowing leaves start to appear? On the bottom of the plant or the top of the plant, or maybe somewhere in the middle? You know, it's like that doctor who rubs your stomach and is like, where are you feeling the pain? At the top, the middle, or the bottom? Well, if it was the bottom leaves, my first guess would be a magnesium deficiency. If it was the top leaves, prime suspect, iron deficiency. But if it's a general yellowing of the plant, it may be a nitrogen deficiency. But I have to ask a few more questions to narrow things down a little. Like, are you growing in soil or hydro? What's your pH? What's your EC? What stage of growth are your plants in? Is it seedling, veg, late flower? And eventually I'll have to make an educated guess. Now, pro tip guys, if you're growing in water and you start to see signs of yellowing leaves, don't panic. Just check your pH, check your EC, change out the water with fresh nutrients on a regular basis, and most of the time the plant will fix itself. But you gotta get to know your plants. And in soil or any other medium, things can be a little bit more difficult, so let's break it down. But wait, before we get into that guys, just a reminder, if you are part of the iCam VIP Bean Club, definitely join up fam. We got a lot of great stuff going on over there, and free stuff go out to all VIPs. Some of you VIPs have already gotten those gold boxes, and some of those packs in those gold boxes, I know you guys are loving them, man. I can't wait to see that cotton candy cane and those heat wave autos, man. I already heard great things about them, and I'm looking forward to see you guys grow that fire. And I'm super excited guys, because we're getting closer to the launch of Diesel Dog clothing, man. If you want Diesel Dog, then that's where it's at. Everything 420, it's all for us. So some of the best gear is gonna be Diesel Dog, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Yes guys, now by far the most common but often overlooked nutrient deficiency is magnesium deficiency. Magnesium is actually a mobile element, which means that if magnesium deficiency starts to develop, the plant can't pull magnesium from the other leaves and transport it to those leaves that need it most. Since the magnesium is the central element in chlorophyll, the bottom leaves usually develop intraveinal chlorosis, which pretty much means that the veins remain green, but the tissue between the leaves will start to turn yellow. It looks like a sickly plant. Plants need plenty of magnesium when their energy requirements are highest. So during times of rapid veg growth or heavy fruit production, sometimes plants just can't keep up with the demand for magnesium. In that case, adding a little bit of CalMag or spraying a little bit of magnesium sulfate on the leaves will help green up those plants well and nice. Now, during times of rapid veg growth, transition periods between grow or bloom, or during heavy fruiting and flowering phases, give your plants a nice little dose of extra magnesium, and that can be rewarding. Now, sometimes you may be feeding your plants plenty of magnesium, but they still show signs of deficiency. In that case, too much potassium may actually be the problem. Potassium toxicity actually shows up the same as a magnesium deficiency. That's why I ask what stage of growth the plant is in. If it's in the fruiting and flowering stage and the grower is adding lots of PK boosters, a magnesium deficiency may develop. In that case, I'd recommend backing off a little on that extra potassium. Otherwise, you're only treating the symptoms, and you can actually cause more problems by using too many additives. When it comes to plant nutrition, it's all about finding that balance. Now, number 2 is that iron deficiency. If yellowing starts to show up on new growth at the top of the plant, I usually suspect an iron deficiency. Iron is an immobile element. That means it cannot be moved around the plant. Once it's assimilated by the plant, it can't be easily moved to other parts of the plant. That means an iron deficiency first shows up in the new growth at the top of the plant, like up here. The new leaves start to turn yellow, usually from the stem outwards toward the tip of the leaves. When I suspect an iron deficiency, the first thing I check is my pH pH levels. Iron is one of the first elements to become unavailable to the plant once the pH rises above 6.5. Once the pH exceeds 7.5, all of the trace metals become unavailable, including iron, copper, manganese, and even zinc. So the first step in correcting an iron deficiency is to reduce the pH to somewhere between 5.8 and 6.4. Once the pH is in the correct zone, the iron will become available again and the leaves will start to turn green. Now, an iron deficiency may be particularly prevalent during times of rapid veg growth, when the plants are taking up more nitrate nitrogen. Now, I've seen folks who've tried to grow sweet corn in hydro, but it was such a heavy feeder that they had to adjust the pH and EC twice a day. Once the pH rose above 6.5, the leaves will start to develop those yellow stripes. But once you lower that pH, they'll fill in with green again. Now, to help prevent iron deficiencies during periods of fluctuating pH, a lot of nutrients include iron in a chelated form. Chelate pretty much means claw, so think of a claw, and a chelate attaches to an iron, just like a claw, helping to keep it soluble in the hydroponic solution. Now, number 3 is that nitrogen deficiency. I saved nitrogen deficiency for last because it's fairly uncommon in hydro, but it's pretty common in soil. A lot of nutrients actually include nitrogen at high levels, so even using those half-strength nutrients provides an adequate amount of nitrogen for most plants. In fact, nitrogen toxicities are much more common than nitrogen deficiencies. Too much nitrogen promotes a lot of lush green top growth, but it actually restricts that root growth. So you may get a lot going on up here, but not much going on down here. And you know what they say, the bigger the roots, the bigger the fruits. Perfect. Now, nitrogen toxicity can also delay or prevent flowering, so make sure that you properly diagnose the nitrogen deficiency before arbitrarily adding extra nitrates. And like I said, nitrogen deficiency is much more common in soil. Nitrates are water soluble, so overwatering can easily leach nitrates out of the root zone. Microorganisms in the soil can also compete with the plant for available nitrogen, especially if the soil has too high of a carbon to nitrogen ratio. Since nitrogen is actually part of the chlorophyll molecule, these leaves will start to turn pale yellow as the nitrogen deficiency gets worse. Now, like magnesium, nitrogen is actually a mobile element, so the first signs of nitrogen deficiency will show up in the lower to middle part of the plant. Generally speaking, nitrogen deficiency is more of a general yellowing, while magnesium deficiency is strongly intraveinal. Remember what I said about those intraveins. But to know for sure, you can always take a leaf sample test. Easy to use tissue sample kits are available for nitrogen, and reagents will indicate high, adequate, or deficient amounts of nitrogen in the leaf tissue. You don't always gotta do that, but it's just cool to do. Now, if you've actually got a true nitrogen deficiency, you can try using a general purpose grow formula or something 444, and that should correct the problem. But to be even more precise, specific nitrogen-based fertilizers are also available. Now, you can add nitrogen at the root zone or use it as foliar feeds. Natural alternatives such as amino acids are also effective as foliar sprays, but they usually take a little bit longer for the plant to respond. But all in all, if you're experiencing yellowing leaves, it may be one of these 3 things. So hopefully these 3 things will help you get on the track to avoiding those yellow leaves, and if it comes up, you know how to deal with it. So smash a freaking like for that, and don't forget to hit the bell, and drop it in the comments down below if you have yellowing leaves and what you do to deal with those yellowing leaves. How do you know what the yellowing leaf issue is? I'm always interested to find out what you guys got to say. And don't forget, look out for Diesel Dog, and if you ain't part of the ICANN fam, definitely join up, man. We got a lot of great stuff going on over there, and be sure to check this out.
This video is brought to you by Mars Hydro, where they have a variety of grow lights and grow tents for growers of all experience levels. Whether you're a small home grower or setting up a slightly bigger commercial operation, they have the tents and lights for you. They have tents for every space and need, including the new 2-in-1 tents. And they also have a wide variety of lights to choose from, including full spectrum LED and the new detachable FCE series. Links to all of the products that we use on this channel, including the Mars Hydro grow lights, are in the description below. Be sure to use the links below to support the ICANN THC channel. You can also save a few bucks on the Mars Hydro website by using the code ICANNTHC at checkout for store-wide savings. Don't forget to use the code and save yourself a few bucks. Now, back to the video.
And we'll see you on the next one. Peace, fam.